Hello, and welcome to My Five. This is DWTT. I'm Gary, and we're going to be talking about Arsenal 1, Villareal 2. Uh, First leg of the semifinals for the Europa, and we'll take you through it. It's going to be a hard one. I'm a little late on my video. I like to say I was distraughted by the game, but I had a lot of things to do, work and family and stuff like that. So sorry about that. But I'm gonna try and get this out now, and hopefully you enjoy it as much as you can. Hopefully it takes you back and you remember some things about the game. All right, so let's get started here. So first things first, like usual, looking at the lineup, I always say that Arteta likes to surprise us, and surprises he did. He did surprise us. Uh, you look at the lineup, and the first thing you see, right? The first thing you see is you see a lineup without any strikers. You're thinking, all right, well, any strikers that had played striker for Arsenal. You're looking, you see Pepe. You're figuring, all right, maybe he's our striker today. We're going to put him up top. We're going to stay in our typical format 4-2-3-1, and go with that. Why not? It's what we've been playing with, and that's what we've been succeeding with when we've had our good games. So that's what everybody thinks. Pepe up top, great. Let's do that. Arteta has surprised us, but we'll get into that. I like the front four with Saka, Erdegaard, Smith Rowe, and Pepe. So I thought it was good. Partey has to be on the field, so Bios gets his chance to play next to him. Chambers holding Marie and Xhaka. Okay, all right, we'll take it. Xhaka out on the left. After the last game, will he do okay? We'll see. Leno in the box. It's hard to pull him, I guess, just because we just haven't given enough time to Ryan. So, all right, we'll go with that. But I just figure we got a strong front four. This will work, right? This will be the way we're gonna get this game. No. Arteta did surprise us with no strikers, but he just surprised us even more by going with a false nine, having Milsroof Rowe up top, and behind him Erdegaard, and we're gonna see how that was gonna play out. I, I think one of the funny things, I think Arteta got a little confused when he knew we were gonna be playing in the blue jerseys and thought they were the powder blue jerseys of City, and that we would just go with that. No striker, we'll be okay. Boy, was that a bad idea. Why do you choose that? I'm not even sure. I don't think he ever answered the question and gave anybody kind of confidence in the way that he used it and the way they planned to use it. I don't believe I've seen it enough to say that I would feel comfortable with it as a fan. There's no way after this he's gonna do it again, right? But we never know with Arteta. That just I believe that he actually thinks that it was working. If you look at, I kind of was looking at the game. I shouldn't have, but I went back and I tried to look at the first half of the game, just like I usually do before I talk about it. And you would have thought, you could see we weren't comfortable playing, and that the players did not look like they were going to get anything out of this game if they continued the way they were going. I mean, they were seen to be some semblance of an attack, and then it would just die. I don't know where the shots were going to come from, where the scoring was going to come from with that lineup, especially the way it was set up. Aubameyang supposedly is healthy; he makes the trip. Martinelli is always he's energetic and he puts a lot of pressure on defenses. All right, I think our Arsenal does really well when we can put pressure on the back line, and I mean somebody out there actually putting pressure on the back line. I've seen it from Aubameyang sometimes, not as much this season. Lacazette will do it. Martinelli definitely does it. So I always like that because it makes the opponents have to get rid of the ball a lot sooner than they want, and then they don't get it where they want, and then we're able to intercept the balls, or it goes out of bounds or whatever, and we can get an attack, and we can get a better counter when things don't work the opponent's way. We barely put any pressure on them. I don't think we, it just looked like we were walking out there. They seem to get whatever they want from the, starting from the back line. Even though we were up there, we had 3 players up there, but it still looked like that nobody wanted to actually go and put that much attack on that back line to create some kind of pressure on them. They seemed to be comfortable there. We didn't look good. We didn't look good at all. I don't understand it. I don't understand what was going on. But like I said, you had Aubameyang and Martinelli on the bench. Maybe we can bring them in. We've got 5 subs. If it doesn't work out, you assume that changes can be made sooner than later. But this is Arteta, so we'll kind of go through the game a little bit. Like I said, the first half, the 2 goals we gave up, could they have been stopped? I think so. Definitely could have. The first one, I think, Xhaka and I believe it was Murray, I believe, let the defender was able to split them and get the ball, and it kind of squirted out, and it might have been Ceballos or Partey that wasn't manning up, and they had a free person in the box who took a shot. There were multiple places where it could have been stopped. I always say to myself, can one of the players stand up, stand up to be heard, kind of thing. Usually the last person to do that is Leno. He wasn't able to make the stop, and they got that goal. It was a nice goal, but multiple places where it could have got stopped, and we just did not do that. Jacques out on the left is just a vulnerability for us. Unless he's playing a softer team, there's no way he can continue to play out there. I mean, Cedric defensively, I think, can play a lot better. Is the position a lot more. Like I would feel more comfortable with him there. Jacques has just been doing it, and it seemed to work, but it wasn't against the opposition like we've seen before. We've seen Jacques now twice play it against better teams and better attackers from that side of the field, and it just doesn't work. So hopefully that's the end of that experiment. It blew up. It blew up Arteta. It blew up in our face. Maybe Shahak moves back to the middle, and there's probably a good reason for that, and we'll get into that in my 5. Second goal, I think Leno, once again, I'm expecting him to come out and do some things. Should he have come all the way out and cleared that ball? I think so. And if he's not going to clear it, then he needs to be able to get back to his line and hopefully be able to make a stop. On the outside, looked like Partey didn't man up, let his man go. He was able to head the ball in and down 2 in the first 30 minutes. And we did not look like we were going to threaten. At that point, I'm thinking to myself, Arteta's got to be saying to himself, this isn't working. Maybe I can change this up. Maybe I can change the formation. Maybe I can put in some players. It just isn't working. You're down 2 on the road, and you don't look like you're going to score. He seems to think they could just work it out, doing the exact same things over and over again. Down 2. Mentally, is this the team to be able to do that? Is this a team that just made a couple of mistakes, but they really are still in control of what they want to do? I don't think so. We're doing something new for the first time. There's no way. You're doing this for the first time, and then you're under adversity, and then you're also then going to turn around and get it back together again, doing something you hadn't done in I don't know how many games it's been, but it's got to be at least a month since we've done this. I don't believe I've seen it. I feel like I've never seen it, but some have told me that we've done it a couple of times, which that doesn't sound too comfortable to me as something we can do over and over again. So that's the 2 goals. We didn't look like we were going to threaten. Ceballos is under pressure all game. He's having a defensive nightmare. He's not able to stop his man. Foyth, I think his name is Foyth. He is having his way. He's defensively, he's making plays on us defensively. He cut out Pepe a couple times, going through the middle. Ceballos can't keep up with him. He's got to foul him. After he got the first yellow, and you kind of notice the game, you're thinking, okay, we cannot afford to get a red, and this guy is getting beat up here. Help him out. Let's help him out. Arteta, he didn't do it. Second half comes around. You're thinking, all right, you know, can we make a change at halftime? No changes. All right, Ceballos still has a yellow. He makes a foul. You're thinking, all right, warning sign. He should be coming out anyways. Why not pull him early so you don't even have to deal with it? Nope. Nope, he makes a play on a ball. I kind of feel it was harsh that he got the yellow in the first place, but he got the yellow and he's out, and now we're down a man. Arteta says he had Martinelli coming in, but boy, I it doesn't matter. You had him come in too late. It should have been coming in sooner than that. He had, a few minutes earlier had just got a foul. You got to be able to communicate to your team. Look, you cannot get in a situation where you're going to get a yellow. Supposedly he talked to Ceballos and told him you're going to have to be careful. I think at that point, if you have to tell a player on a yellow that they have to be careful, and then you see them go out there and they don't actually listen and they make another, harsh, make a foul that could end up being a yellow and it doesn't, and you're lucky, you immediately gotta get somebody in. Martinelli goes through his warm up. By the time he's ready to come in, too late. We were down a man. Now we're down two, down a man, and we're bringing Martinelli in. Great. We're taking out Erdegar. How does that? You need two. You down two. Why are you taking off Erdegar? Come on. You can take off somebody. I think you can take somebody else off. At that point, I'm down. Defensively, I would have liked to have taken somebody off other than Erdegar. I understand the reason. Now that I'm thinking about it, I can see why he did that. But boy, I just think that puts a lot of pressure on us when we can't keep our offensive players on the field, and put more pressure on them. You bring on Martinelli. You bring on Martinelli, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe you push one of your, you Saka back. Saka can take over the left back. Xhaka comes off. He's not having a good day. Xhaka can play that position. He's left-footed. Everything about it makes sense to me. No, he doesn't do that. Erdegar comes off. He looks disappointed. I kind of felt disappointed for him because I don't feel like he got to put any kind of influence on the game. So he comes off. We're able to, early in the game, Pepe looks like he gets fouled on the box or just outside of it. But they call a handball on it. VAR doesn't like us. Later on, after Martinelli comes on, Saka is able to get us a PK. We've seen this. I've seen this multiple times, and I think you have too. Defender kind of gets his leg in there and decides to pull it back, but the offensive player drags his foot, catches the defender, and goes down. This is where we are. If the officials were consistent and looked at that and said, no way, the defender actually made a good play and was able to pull out of it, and you just dragged your foot and made the call, then I would be okay. But a lot of fans are like, well, he shouldn't have got it. But you know how many times we've had that happen to us? It came our way. We got one back, and we always talk about players doing things to at least make the official call it in our favor, or at least have to make a call. That was it. We got the penalty. I think they reviewed it, and they just couldn't reverse it. And all right, Pepe steps up. I guess he sees how the goalkeeper's moving. Sees the goalkeeper moving. He just kicks it straight. Nice penalty kick. He didn't have to put too much on it. Just kicked it straight down the middle. All right, well, we got one. Let's go for two. You know what? Aubameyang's in there. Why don't we bring Aubameyang in? We just scored. Who makes the subs first? Right after that, Villareal. How is that? How? And we don't make any subs. We're trying to get a second goal. That second goal is, it's not as crucial as the first one because the first one matters, but the second one would be nice too. I thought we could get 2 goals in this. I assumed we could win by 2 in this game. I didn't think we were going to have to come back from a 2-goal deficit. But you think we're going to make a sub, right? The game's still not going in our favor. Still kind of not in control of what, the way we want to play. No, no subs, no subs. This is around like what 70th minute, I believe, when all of this happened. Nothing happens. We don't make any subs. But wait a second. There's 5 minutes left. Let's bring on Aubameyang. Seriously? Seriously? We're going to bring on subs at 85 minutes? At 85 minutes, we're bringing on subs. At 85 minutes, we're bringing on subs. Saka comes off. Are you serious? Saka is coming off when we need. We're bringing Aubameyang on. With the you can pull Xhaka off. You can. Saka can play left back, wing back, whatever you want to call it, but he can play on that left side defensively, and he can still put some pressure on them offensively. Are you kidding me? You got Martinelli on the field. You're going to bring Aubameyang on. You're going to take off Saka, one of your best offensive players. Well, are we saving him? What are we saving? He shouldn't play on Sunday. So why? Didn't make any sense to me. Erdegaard coming off, Saka coming off. I mean, it just made no sense. Aubameyang almost got a shot. I mean, kind of laughed at it with one of my Arsenal friends about it. I thought it was a good shot. He thought Aubameyang fell when he took it. The shot was on target for once. That was probably the only one I recall seeing when it went on target. And goalkeeper was easily been able to stop it. But that was it. And then wait a second. 1 minute left. 1 minute left in the match. You know what? Let's bring on El Neni and Willian and take out Smith Rowe and Pepe. I guess he's calling the game, or he's giving them some extra minutes. Giving them some experience. In a semifinal. I don't understand that sub either. I mean, the subs were late. The formation was wrong. It didn't work. The players couldn't do it. Arteta got it all wrong. Kept Ceballos on too long. No excuses. No excuses. It wasn't that you were late. You just never had any intentions of probably pulling him off. And who knows? Who's to say you were going to pull off Ceballos anyways? I mean, I would like to think he was, but who knows? But that's the game in a nutshell. Everything about it was wrong. We were set up. Players on the field just were set up incorrectly. They weren't comfortable with what they were asked to do, and we paid for it. Should not have been. We shouldn't have been that behind like that. We should have been able to attack them. We didn't do that. Their weakest links were their back line, and we never put barely any pressure on them. They attacked our back line, and they got what they wanted. Everything coming from that left side on the defense. Partey, Xhaka, Murray, just everything from there. All right. Well, that's it. All right. Let's get into my 5, and let's see how see what I have to say there. All right. So let's get into it. My 5. So you can see it there. We got Pepe, Saka, Erdegaard, Partey, Xhaka, and a +1. I don't know why I should call it 6, but I just feel like that somebody deserves to be discussed in this game as well, and you probably know who it is. Pepe was, when I first saw it, I assumed he's going to play striker. I was like, how is that going to work? I would like to see how he does up top there. That didn't, we'll talk about it. Saka, just expected him to have to be able to perform, and that's all. Look forward to seeing him on the pitch. Erdegaard coming back, expect him to be an influence on the game offensively. He's definitely sound with the ball. Partey needed to have a really good game. That was my thought there. We need to see it. Xhaka, left back, needed to also having a really good game for us. And that, more positives and negatives. That's what I was looking for. And then we'll talk about the +1. You can guess who that is. His name starts with C. Let's get into it. Pepe. All right. Well, as I said initially, we thought he was going to come out and play striker. He did not. He was out on the left side, not really able to influence the game the way I thought he would. Looks similar to the last game where I felt like I would want him to just attack more and keep attacking. They tried to look for him. The passes just weren't there. It seemed like we were able to get the ball across midfield. The next pass just was not right. He'd either slow down the play or just got intercepted or went out of bounds. Everything was wrong about it. He was not able to influence the game as much. He did have that penalty, that got reversed, or that foul on the outside of the box that got reversed because of a handball. I mean, I guess if the defender's holding your arm up and swings it up, is able to hold it and it hits the ball, then it's handball. No matter whether it's incidental or what, hit the hand. I guess you got to get your hand out of there, Pepe. Got to be a little bit more forceful with that. Like I said, it's hard to even talk about what Pepe did, good or bad. I just don't think that formation worked for any of the players. It didn't help out Pepe. I wonder if he knew coming in that you weren't going to play striker and you're going to be out on the left, and it's just not going to be the same because you're not going to have a striker in front of you. Nobody kind of affecting the middle of the pitch like you thought. It just didn't work for us. It didn't. Just didn't work. It just didn't work. Nice penalty kick, but that's all I got from Pepe. I mean, and I think I want to say it's the players, but there's no way all 11 looked the way they did, and mostly it's the front four. I mean, we have really good front four players, and somehow Arteta found a way to neutralize them. I don't think it was Villareal. I don't think it was at all. It had to be Saka and what he did. Yeah. So that's it for Saka. Sorry, for Pepe. Next up, Saka. Once again, one of the things that stands out is that teams know that he's a threat. He got knocked down multiple times, which meant he was putting some pressure on him, and they had to find a way to neutralize him. And they did, but they kind of put him down. And I would like to see these officials see that and realize, that they're getting the benefit of this, because the multiple times that they foul him, the sooner the yellow comes out, the sooner they stop. He got knocked down, I think, a couple of times, and you're like, "Are you serious?" And no whistle was blown, no foul was given, and you're like, "Okay, you're letting them play, but you're letting them get the advantage, and that's defeats. That's not that's not right. That's not cool." He did Saka was able to pull the red, and I don't a lot of people probably think that's not the Arsenal way, but at some point you're gonna have to go and find a way to get something done, and it might have to be by making the official actually have to decide what to do, and make the official blow that whistle, and he did, and it blew in our favor. So why not? When we go back home, and we're going to have to do the same thing again. If we're not able to find a formation that works, we're going to have to figure out ways to get goals. We need to score at least one goal. I personally want to have a 3-goal lead at some point in the game for me to feel comfortable, but we're going to have to find a way so that the players are going to have to reach deep down and find some way to play a better game no matter what the formation is. Like I said, Saka, he does what he does, and I think that's good. I just don't think the structure helped him and the rest of the team, and that's why we looked so bad. He was able to get, I think it was Capu, and his second yellow and out of the game, but by then damage was done. The game was almost over at that point. It's hard to even give a discussion of these players because of what they weren't able to do, and but I'm going to blame that on Arteta. I have to. Next up, Erdiger. I think the one player that suffered in this structure was Erdiger, because I think a lot of the play were supposed to go up to Milsroof Rowe playing out false 9, and it just did not work. I mean, if you watch some of the game, you wonder, like, when did Erdiger even touch the ball in an attacking position, and it was barely ever. And when he did, he just didn't want to force it in, probably because they had so many people around him, and we had players too close together, I think, and it just made it really hard to move around. If you look at my notes, there aren't much. There's really barely anything there for Erdegaard. And I mean, the fact that he got pulled first, if it's based on that, maybe it's based on the formation, Arteta. You put your players in a situation where they cannot perform, and then you pull them for inactivity. I mean, nah. I think Erdegaard suffered. Like I said, all four of our players suffered. I mean, if, do you recall much from a Milsroof row? No. I mean, we had four of our, we have four our younger front four players playing, and we did not look like we were going to score a goal. I mean, something's, it can't be all four players having a bad day. It's got to be something else, right? Was it the mindset coming in? Was it the formation that they hadn't played in a while? I mean, everything about that was just not right. Edgar suffered. He got pulled, and then you kind of hear a report that he's not going to re-sign. I mean, I from the play from his playing form that he's had so far, I'll be if Real Madrid has any kind of sense, there's probably no way they're going to let him come and stay with Arsenal. I mean, he's a good player, and they may command more money than we can afford to pay. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. We got a game to repair that relationship. If there's ever a time, it would be the next Thursday's game. Like I said, Erdegaard, I think, was punished by Arteta indirectly, and hopefully Arteta knows that. Next up, we got Partey. What can I say about Partey? I don't think our midfield plays the way it does without him there, but I also feel like he's just not all the way there physically, all the way there mentally, and then when he's playing with certain plays, it just doesn't pan out. He made some really poor passes. I mean, there's one at the end of the half, just kicks it. I don't know. It looked like one of his shots, and maybe that's just the problem. He just doesn't. He's just not 100%, and nothing's going to work this season. I could see him probably talking to Xhaka. I think he was hoping Xhaka would come up, and maybe he pulled back when he saw he wasn't there, and by then it was too late. Ball was gone. But I think that's the other part to this, and that particular play. One, there's two things that it showed me. One is Xhaka and Xhaka playing behind Partey doesn't work because I feel like their relationship isn't on the same page. They're not playing. They're on the same page. The passing between the two was just always off. Multiple interceptions were happening between the two. They just weren't thinking. And you know what? That probably one will happen when you don't play that position that much. And the player behind you or in front of you just doesn't know what you're going to do. Just pass the ball directly to Partey. He's gonna be able to hold off whoever's there. That's the one thing I do like about it. I believe he just give him the ball. You try to lead him, you're probably playing right into the defensive sand and allowing him to get it because he's expecting the ball to come to him, so he doesn't have to go away from the middle of the field and get away from the attack that he's trying to pick up on next. Partey should not be allowed to shoot. I don't know what's going on there. Every shot, he's so far under it. It's ridiculous. For a person that can make certain passes that you see between the line, from one line up to the next, for him to be able to just pass it to me. At least you're gonna put it on goal. Maybe the goalkeeper will make a mistake, but the shots are just not there. They're no more, please. I don't like it to see him shoot. It's disappointing. It's embarrassing sometimes to see a player like that kicking a ball like that consistently. The one thing that Partey did, and that's why I don't like when we pull some of our players, is he did make that pass to Aubameyang at the end of the play, and that's why I never like to pull players like a Pepe. You pull him off the field, you never know when the magic's gonna come. You never know, and he showed it. Aubameyang wasn't able to finish the deal, but that's why I like to see our better players on the field, and especially in a two-legged affair like this where they're going to have a whole week to to recover. So there's no reason to pull them unless they are seriously tired. But if they are, then they should be coming off a lot sooner than like the 85th minute, right? And if you're going to do it at the 85th minute, then you might have to sacrifice some defense for offense, in my eyes. Or you stick with what you got. Just Partey did some good things, did some bad things, and I think that's just the way it's going to be until next season. Next up, Xhaka. What can I say about that? Left back, I mean, isn't his position, and you know, maybe he played it good the 2 games before, but that was against, the first 2 games that he played. That was out of inconvenience. We had to do that. But in the big games, I think we needed to go to our tried and true. And we have players that have played left back. I think they can play a lot better than Xhaka. That's not his position. We're asking him to do it. He's struggling, and he might be he might have some kind of football IQ there. But he just, if that's true, then there's certain things that he's going to need to do when he's out there. Can't put him. He's going to have to defend a lot better. A lot better. Yeah, can't blame him as much for being in the left back, but I would like to, think he can do a lot better than he's done. Yeah, it's for me, like I said, I'd rather have seen a Mills-Rowe play in the midfield and then Saka or Cedric play in left back, because I think those are, I think the one thing that we need to do is play our best players, not our best 11. Our best 11 doesn't have our best players in it because we can't, what Arteta feels is his best 11 doesn't include certain players that I think should be on the field. I'm hoping that he sees that and he says, you know what, I have to score. I have to have my better players out there. The Martinelli, the Sakas maybe out there, and the Ceballos and the Xhakas, maybe they don't have to go. They don't have to play out there, and maybe they get sacrificed and they can come in for defensive purposes, but we need to score. We needed to score in the first game, and we didn't do it. So we'll see. And then we'll go into my question mark. So Ceballos. What can I say about Ceballos? It seems every knockout round in Europa he's going to have a bad game. This was his bad game. I was coming into it, I was hoping that he playing with Partey, he would be sound, not struggle. And he did some good things, but he was basically chasing the game. Joy's behind. Fourth, pretty much had him in his pocket and had him chasing him all around the pitch, and he had to make some fouls, cynical fouls. Just not a good day from him defensively. And then, I think the end of structure in front of him affected the offense, so we really didn't get this much out there. So it's not like, all right, well, I had a really bad defensive day, but I did have some really good offensive plays. But no, that didn't happen either because I think the structure just wasn't right. And also, he should have been out at halftime. You got 5 subs. You're down 2. One of your players in midfield, where they're killing us, needed to come off, and you didn't do that. You could have been on Martinelli. You could have shifted Saka back, and then you have a formidable side to attack with, and we didn't do that. I don't understand the risk that Arteta takes and the risk that he doesn't. Xhaka at left, but he won't put Martinelli and Saka back where he's played, and he made a name for himself being able to play anywhere on the pitch. Playing left back, yes, it tired him out, but that's fine. Let him go for 60-70 minutes, and then you bring Xhaka in. But you've got your best players on the pitch. Why not? He didn't do that, and he got paid. He paid for it with Ceballos. Yeah. Well, he's out for the next game, so I guess we don't have to deal with that. But I think we'll see what Arteta does. I don't see why we need to play a new structure than what we were playing before. We should be healthier. I think Louise will be back. I think between the Tyranny and Lackey, I think one of them will be back, hopefully. So I think we need to go with our strongest 11. And if you have to play out of position, then so be it. This is basically not necessarily life or death, but this is life or death in this knockout round. We haven't held a clean sheet in a very long time. So worst case scenario is they're going to score, which means we're going to have to score twice. If we score twice, then we're going to have to score twice, hopefully late. And it's a 0-0 game at that point where no matter what they do, worst case scenarios, we go into extra time. Personally, we got to score 3, so we have to play for the first goal, the second goal, and the third goal. Like it's the only thing we can, like it's our life out there in the pitch. 3-1 would be really nice to see, but I'm concerned that a 3-1 with 20 minutes to go, we'll see them score that second goal, and I'm concerned about that. Because we should have been the one with the two away goals coming in. We had chances, even with the bad play that we had. This time we got to play to our strengths. We cannot weaken ourselves with players on the pitch that are out of position. Can't do that. Arteta got to be good about that. That's Ceballos. Yep, he's out, so we don't have to deal with him. Capu is out, so maybe they will struggle a little bit without him being there. We have to be better. Players have to play. Have to play all out, regardless of what structure, and that's the part of it as well. Maybe Arteta did put them in a situation where they weren't comfortable, but they're gonna have to find a way to make it work, and they're gonna have to go beyond themselves and play it out. Right? At some point, somebody's gonna have to make a play. I mean, Saka made a play, which we're not, we haven't seen before. We haven't seen much of. Somebody else is going to have to do the same thing. That means Pepe needs to take the ball and go one-on-one and put the ball on goal. You have to do that. We're in the middle, and Mr. Fro, Erdegaard, they're going to have to maybe take that shot. I feel like in past games, we're just not prepared to shoot. And when they make a mistake, we don't jump on it and counterattack as soon as we can. We seem to want to do things in a prepared way. No. Sometimes you just got to ram it down their throat. Sometimes you got to take advantage and go 100%. We didn't do that. So let's see. Like I said, I'm sorry putting this out there late. Hope you enjoy it. Remember to put some comments down. Subscribe. Set your notifications on. I'll try to have one out tomorrow after the game. At least a review of the game. And then my 5 hopefully later. So we'll see how that goes. Hope you enjoy this. And come on, you Gunners. And leave you with my favorite words. Life is a journey. Don't waste the trip. Enjoy the ride. Alright, have a good night, evening, day, morning, whenever you get this. Enjoy.